Alright, we all know now that the tree is lying. There are 2 people involved, a baby, a marriage, and a scandal of lies. So, we need to keep typing in stuff that would possibly bring up more. But at the moment, just trying to think of what specifically to type in and how to move this game along a little bit more. And I'm stuck, if I have to say the most. I'm stuck. So, Eve came up with more. I'm gonna type in my.
No,
Let's have a look.
he doesn't keep a diary. That's my thing. I've kept one, well, as long as I can remember, since I was a girl. Helps make sense of my day. And when you're forced to put something into words, just gives you perspective. Everyone's on the same page.
Okay, diary. Need to remember that.
Bruce. Oh yeah, no, it's nothing. I was going through the top cupboard in my kitchen and the chair slipped and I kind of hit the door with my face. It hurt like hell.
Bruise. Bruise. She has a bruise.
Okay, I'll try my best to remember.
Remember what? Alright. Diary.
Florence was a warm, kind person. But she was broken, I guess. When I found her diary, I also found a biscuit tin with other stuff in it. Older papers, letters, that kind of thing. Her story wasn't there. I never really spoke to her about it. I was far too young to really understand. I guess I just put it together later, once I was older. She had loved children, planned to have a large family, but her husband died in the war. And that was back when you married for life. She never felt like she could marry again. Isn't that strange? She was a widow from her 20s. But, I mean, I guess it was different then. You know, you married for life and she felt she could never marry again. I guess it was harder, a war widow. One of the dead. I don't know, maybe there was more to it than that. I don't really know.
No honour, by the sounds of things.
When I was 8, Mother died. She slipped down the stairs. It was an accident. I had read a diary at that point and I knew she wasn't my real mother. So I burned the diary that day and I left. Walked out and across the street. Just became our way of life. We would swap places and take it in turns to do things. And we were very careful. Whoever had been out that day would come back and write a detailed diary so that we were on the same page. We had a list of rules that said what we could and couldn't do in any given situation. It was exhaustive. We lived a second life through those rules. Rules for things that could only ever happen inside our imaginations. We would consider all the permutations of future events and agree rules to walk our way through them.
Oh wow, same page. Yeah, okay. Florence. She does get.
Florence took me home with her. Mother hadn't been expecting twins and had a healthy baby. I guess she was just happy for Florence to clean up. Take away the evidence that this was anything but a happy occasion. Florence raised me in her home. I never left it. She kept me out of sight. It wasn't odd for people to see a midwife with a baby, carrying in supplies, washing nappies, that sort of thing. I never knew any different. I grew up looking out of my window and seeing her across the road. I thought it was like a reflection in the mirror. She was me.
She saw herself across the road. That's
No.
weird.
It was just me and her. Eve was the name they were going to call their first child. They talked about it and were going to try when he came back. Florence's family had a history of firstborn girls, so they were convinced it was going to be a girl. It's hard to know if this is all true. These are stories I remember, that I read when I was a child. Maybe I misread, maybe I misunderstood. Sometimes it's hard to remember what happened last week.
I'll give her that. She's not wrong there. Alright, so database check. I've got a lot. Volume missing. Yeah, I'm there. Alright, what else? What else have we looked at? Nurse. Nope. We had some weird ones pop up when with Florence. So they're obviously talking about how it was like a mirror twin diary. Diary. Same page. Written. All right. There we go.
We loved our cat, Domino. He had this little bell around his neck to stop him from killing birds in the garden. And we used to write each other notes and put them in the bell, and we could send them to each other. Mum found some of the notes once, and she thought I was just writing to myself because our handwriting was identical. And we had our own words for things, so she didn't quite understand them anyway.
Secret.
When beautiful people died, we always felt like it was a sign. You remember Princess Grace? Grace Kelly? She died in a car crash the year before we met Simon. We used a Ouija board to speak to her, and that gave us the power to find him. That's what we thought then. That people who died tragically leave some kind of magic behind. We used to share dreams. We used to wake up and write them down in our diaries immediately and compare them.
Wow. That's not creepy at all. Alright. Domino. One more.
No cat. My parents had a cat before they died called Domino. It was this little black thing with white dots. And we never did anything about the cat flap, but if you were thin, you could maybe squeeze through it. The mirror. I can't remember. I put it somewhere safe. Upstairs, I think.
Mirror.
I haven't looked at it since.
Since what?
We were obsessed with fairy tales. Not just the pretty ones, but the traditional ones. They were dark and real, bizarre and violent. Felt like life. We had this huge old book that I think Mum must have bought from a library sale. The illustrations had thin tracing paper over them to protect them. They were in colour, shiny plates. At the front of the book was an index of illustrations. We read that more than the actual stories. We'd read aloud the captions and flip between the pictures. There was something intimate about peeling back the tracing paper, undressing the pictures. Rapunzel's hair is cut. The eagle plucks out his heart. The princess pricks her finger.
Weird. Very weird. I haven't done Fairytales yet. Not sure. No, I have not. That would have been a good one to do.
Sorry. The picture, the way it's drawn, just reminded me of the books we used to read as children. I read those fairy tales over and over, and they were so real to me. Rapunzel was my favourite. My brain is just full of it. Are any of these in colour? And the Glaziers. I worked there some weekends, and Simon had a part-time job there too. That was Eric's generosity. He was always good at helping out other people's children. Simon was quiet, more thoughtful than the other boys. Even then, he had a sense of craftsmanship. Wasn't always rushing stuff. Boys that age are just running around like headless chickens most of the time. You know? Plus, he had that look. He looked like a fairy tale prince from one of my books.
I'm getting
Simon
more, but
never
nothing
cheated on
major
me.
yet. It's kind of
He was
weird.
devoted to me, and I was devoted to him. Nothing in life is easy.
Part with your sister,
We were
huh?
good to each other. Life isn't a fairy tale. You do what you can.
Filling in the gaps.
Well, she wasn't my real mother, but she raised me. Do you want to hear the story? It's a real-life fairy tale.
Okay. How about just fairy?
Yes. I read a lot as a child and watched lots of TV. Then the doll's house we had, we still have in the attic. It's kind of a fairy castle. We used to play up there and make up our own stories.
Okay, what about tails? No. Alright, so we'll move on from the fairy tale aspect of this. Let's see if anything pops up with life. Oh, there we go. How much though? 12. Oh
Then
god.
my parents died. It was the worst year of my life. A miscarriage and then my parents.
Miscarriage. That seems like one to keep on notes. A miscarriage.
Really? You're going to ask me about my sex life? I mean, isn't that private?
Wow.
Are you married? How is your sex life? So, our sex life is probably fairly average for a couple after 10 years of marriage.
Wow. She's not happy.
They'd gone to bed feeling ill, thinking it was flu or something. The neighbour called me, I had to use my key to let them in. We found them dead in their bed. And they'd been there for days. No one had noticed.
Oh god.
Just awful.
Her parents.
It was so soon after my miscarriage.
Yep.
The worst year of my life. I'd been so happy to get married, and after that it was just like, fuck.
Wow. How am I doing? Did I unlock anything else? Not sure. Alright, so that's what life brought up. What about my life? Oh, one more.
No. I told her it was one of my boyfriends, someone I had met in the bar. I think she was happy. But I could tell she was thinking, why couldn't it happen to her and Simon? They were the ones with the real life. Why not them?
Wow. I don't think I can squeeze anything else out of life. I'm going to find it another way. What about dreams? Or dream? Nope. Okay, dreams and dream is dead. She also said though mother.
Okay. There's a girl and she's staring out of the window. She's sad. She's trapped. She's here. She's looking out the window because her mother won't let her out.
Huh.
I would have been a good mother. I was young, but I would have been a good mother. She was a girl, by the way, the baby. We were going to call her Sarah. Simon wanted to call her Ava after his nana, but I didn't want her to have a symmetrical name.
I like Ava. What's wrong with Ava? I can't spell. Sarah. Nope. What about Ava? Okay, nothing on Sarah and Ava. What about Prince?
Prince. Yes. I drove in here because I remember, well, I went over the river, and then there was a church there. Yeah. And I probably parked, well, I remember seeing a street sign called Princess Street. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure it must be this one. There.
This one white.
I don't know if
This
anyone
one
really
white.
changes. You just become more yourself. Simon was my prince, and that hasn't changed. There were always princes and princesses. They were the special people, more important than the other characters in their stories. We knew we were like that. Twins. Magical. We were the princesses. We had a poster of Princess Diana from the newspaper up in our attic. Had a pride of place. And underneath we used to put all our special things. When her engagement was announced, we were obsessed with everything she did. And later, when her life went so bad, we felt for her. Her divorce last year just kind of drew a line under things.
Oh, nope. I keep clicking the wrong button when it comes to that. 5 for Prince. Okay. So we're finding the odd 5s, which are not bad. Well, I'm going to end it here on Prince and come back next week to have a look at 6. Oh look, there's 1. I will see you guys in the next episode of her story. Hopefully I'm going to get this done, but I don't really have too many more episodes I can make of this, so I'm going to get as far as I can, and then if there is still tons left, hopefully you guys will play it yourselves and get to see slightly how the game works and the odd little bits that you might be missing. I hope you enjoy. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in whatever I have to make next. Bye guys.